Hey y'all, how you doing? Hey y'all, and welcome back with another reaction, y'all. I know I haven't gave y'all no update lately on D4VD and Celeste Revis case. I know I haven't, but I haven't forgot. So y'all, these are my opinion and not necessarily facts. And thanks for watching and being here. And the purpose of this live is to educate you all, criticism, community purposes on this particular case. This has been one of the a difficult case that we have involved ourselves in. There have been under jury, they don't been to court and everything, and we don't really know what's going on. It was this, it was that in this case. And y'all, come on in and hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Now tonight, y'all, I just want to give y'all a little update on the D4VD David and Celeste Rivas case. Now we know for a fact that a body been in that trunk, y'all. A body was found in that trunk. We know that. We know that. Now there are some new updates that we're going to cover tonight, okay? Right now, y'all, just in case you've forgotten, I'm gonna always give you an update. D4VD is currently a primary suspect, which we already know, correct? We already know that he was our suspect. Come on. You find a body inside of my trunk or my car, and I drive my car. Hey, baby. And I know for a fact that if the body was in my trunk, I'd probably been in jail by now. Okay. So David is right now, y'all, a primary suspect of this investigation, which we know about this, right? Celeste wasn't but 13, where they trying to say she was 15. Let's say 14, but really she was like 11 when she was fooling with him. But 14, y'all, we talk about a 14-year-old girl which turned 15 on the day that everything happened. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was dismembered, y'all. She was decomposed. Her decomposed body was dismembered in the back of D4VD trunk. Yes. In the trunk, y'all. Come on now. A 14-year-old. And you know what make this case so difficult to me is she has parents. She has parents. And that triggers me a whole lot in this case. That she's only 14. And they found her in the back of someone's trunk that the parents allegedly had to know. Because she was alive January the 2nd of 2025. Y'all remember when we spoke on that? This baby was found in the Davis trunk. Doesn't mean that he put her there. But how did she get there? She was found in the back of D4VD Tesla trunk September the 20th. Now, y'all, it's a whole lot going on right now. It's a whole lot going on right now. There has been a burn cage, y'all, an incinerator. like a burn cage, found inside of David's house. Doesn't mean David put that. Doesn't mean now that he bought that burnt cage. Doesn't mean that, right? Doesn't mean that David is involved with that incinerator. It's so much popping up in that house, y'all. It's so much popping up in that house that the investigators didn't take fingerprints. But you have to ask yourself why. Also, Celeste Rivas had a tiny tattoo on her finger. This is a baby, y'all. This is a baby. Young girl. She even have a tattoo of David on her finger. Now, something about that incinerator that I'm going to speak on a little bit, if I can refresh my memories with Fisher, the private investigator spoke on. It's a lot going on, y'all, that we don't know. Now, one thing about that incinerator, now let me get back to Celeste. Celeste didn't weigh but like 120 pounds. I used to wear 125, 20 pounds when I was in 8th grade. So I think that's a good size for her. I don't know why they trying to call that skinny, but that was a little fun size. 120 pounds was really fun back in the days. Now, Fisher spoke on the incinerator. And one thing about that incinerator, they're going to call it a burn cage, can reveal a great deal of information. Oh, hey, Justice Jane 24. A great deal of information. One thing about that incinerator that can give you a little information on it, the date of the order. Who accepted that incinerator to D4VD house? The date is very important of when you order it. How did they order that incinerator, that bag, that burn cage? These are important things that we should be able to get. They should be able to, investigators should be able to get information on the date of the order, the credit card information, right? And the name of the holder of the credit card, right? And a couple more things we can find on that incinerator. What about when they order the burn cage from a computer, they can get an IP address, y'all, that the order was placed. It's so much that the investigators can get from that burn cage could help them with these types of information. What about the day of the delivery? Are they in the video recorded? Or the delivery been delivered to the house? Because they went in there and snatched that camera out of their house so quick. And that was the most important part of this case, was that the grand jury, the prosecutor already know what don't happen because it's in the video. They have the main source, the camera. They can see when it was ordered, the IP address, the credit card holder, the recorded delivery, and the person who accepted that delivery, from the DHL driver. Who did? Who accepted the burn cage? Who paid for it? It's a lot of weird things going on in that castle. it's a lot of weird thing had went on in that big castle. Also, y'all, they don't cut their grass. I have somebody cut my grass for me, and I'm not rich. So they don't need a chainsaw. What they need with a chainsaw? He does, Justice. He do. He do. He need to be accountable, serious, because that baby. Seemed like I got kind of close to Celeste when this happened because I felt that nobody care about Celeste. I just feel like they just, oh, it's a Spanish girl or whatever, and forget about it. No, we're not going to do that. The chainsaw. What they need a chainsaw for. So now you got a bird cage, you got a chainsaw, and the LAPD didn't take the bird for evidence, but they photographed it and did not fingerprint it, y'all. They did not fingerprint the bird cage. They just took a picture of it. But you had to ask yourself, why did they do that? Why did Fisher see these things that they didn't think that was important in this case? It should have been important because a girl was found in the trunk, wrapped up in plastic. And she's a baby. She's 13. Did they use a fake name or something to order that burn cage? What in the world is a burn cage in the house for y'all? And the main question I have, where is her parents? And to be honest with y'all, right now, David has not been charged. Yes, a burn cage. David has not been charged. And let me tell y'all a little bit about the indictment that's going on that y'all don't know what's going on. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. They have an indictment expecting a indictment this year in January. This is now I think I put, hold on, y'all. Let me see how I put my note. They are very confident that David was involved in her death, as which we've been talking about it, and we know about this. Now, when they spoke about grand jury, what a grand jury indictment, I had to look that up because I don't get in trouble. So I don't know what this means. So I looked it up. So the grand jury indictment means if a grand jury determines there is a probable cause to believe a crime has been committed and that a specific person committed it, they may issue an indictment. Because I didn't know what a grand jury indictment was. I never heard of that. This was new to me. This is not a finding of guilt. This doesn't mean David is guilty, but a formal charge that sets the will for the prosecutor. That's why some of the cases go to grand jury, y'all, for probable cause. But David hasn't been charged. The grand jury right now is considering D4VD, considering a murder charge against D4VD. What's up, Jason? Yes. Which we always had D4VD as a suspect. So they doing all of this behind our back, a grand jury, indictment, everything behind the scene. Why is D4VD case is the only case that we has cover over here that is hidden from the public? Why? See, y'all made this case so difficult. I want David to take some kind of responsibility. He should be charged with something because he had Celeste was alive January the 2nd. She was alive January the 2nd of 2025. And David should be accountable. I don't know who he let drives his car. I don't know who moved the car, but Fisher saw everything. Oh yeah, I meant to tell y'all that this Fisher, the private investigator, Fisher would call in front of the grand jury. They call him to talk to him, y'all. It's a lot that we don't know what's going on. It's a lot that we don't know what's going on in this case. We're at the jury. Right now, y'all, I just want to come in and give y'all that little short update because I plan on doing it yesterday, but I didn't. David right now is considering because the grand jury prosecutors are considering murder charge against D4VD. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how they're going to say that David put that body in that trunk. I really don't. I really don't know how they're going to do that. That's why some cases go to the grand jury is probable cause. Now, Fisher can solve this case. Fisher know who was driving that car, y'all. He knows who was driving D4VD car. He knows. And he was called, like I said, in front of the grand jury. Now, y'all, I don't know how y'all gonna take this. I don't know. But we don't know nothing. This is all I know. This is all the information that I got about this case. And it's a sad case, y'all. I really want to know, is it really true? Because they don't seem like it's real. Now, that DHL delivery, somebody, what were they planning on doing with a burn case? I wonder why because this, look, y'all, with this case right here. With this case right here, what tripped me out is with David case, they can't prove that David did this. They can't prove if David did this or not. David should just be held responsible for that body in that trunk. I can't say that if he put it there. I can't say that David have any part, but David has to know something about. I don't know. I don't understand how they not know that a body is not. That body is thinking in that trunk. How do they not know a body is in that trunk? How do they not know? Don't they drive it every day? They got the smell. David don't put himself in trouble in front, but I don't want to accuse him. I don't want to have the wrong person locked up. But how can they prove that David put her in the trunk? I can't prove it. In cases, I sit back and I try to use my brain. But I don't understand how is they driving that car and it's smelling. It's wet and it's smelling. What knucklehead would drive around with a body in a trunk? He done did a whole concert. I'm not saying David did this, and I'm not gonna say David did this, but it seemed like me it's a jealous person did this. A jealous hearted person allegedly did this. And this person did something like this. If this was a real true case, because I can't understand how is Celeste up there with D4VD in January. She has to go to school. Well, they out for the Christmas holiday. January the 2nd, they was out for the Christmas holiday. They getting ready to go back to school like on the 3rd. I think on the 3rd. 2nd or the 3rd. There's too many, it's too much going on, y'all. And I would keep y'all updated on this case. But it's too much going on to me. It's too much going on. That poor girl needs justice. If this is a true story, David even had what I can't understand. I'm not blaming him. I'm not accusing him. David even took a casket on the stage. Like he having a funeral. But that was back in the, like, I think around about 20, 22, 23. That was back then. I don't even think he knows Celeste then. I really don't. Who in the world did something like this, y'all? David hasn't been charged, but we are talking about David like he's a criminal. A grand jury? It's because how are they considering him as a murder? And pressing and then charges against David. How? Because somebody in his car. People can do some devilish, devious things. And he has a lot of people here, a lot of friends who drive that car. But David got to smell the car. They got to smell because y'all remember Fisher said that they put a tree, like put one of those tree deodorizer in the car. So now, just to summarize this, y'all, I'm gonna keep giving y'all the update. The more they bring it in, the more they put it out there, that things about Celeste that makes D4VD accountable. He got a tattoo just like hers. She got one just like his, a matching tattoo. There's been many times he don't been in videos with her. The mama knows that she with a boy named David. I think David, he killed her, and I think you think he killed the uncle? I think that David know more than what he say he know. Cause it's no way David can be. It could, but when the last time did David say he talked to her? First, they were saying David's cooperative. Then they turned around and said David wasn't cooperative. They were putting false information out there on that young man, and they shouldn't have never did that. TMZ should have never did it. They were giving us information, and they shouldn't have gave us that type of information. Right now, they said David is currently the prime suspect. Celeste Rivers Hernandez. That indictment is coming up, y'all. They need to indict someone. They do have probable cause. But I still say that I can't sit here and tell y'all that David did this. I can't. I can't sit here and say David did this. They are confident that David was involved in her death. And only person can tell you that is Fisher. Fisher seen a lot of stuff. the PI, he saw a lot of things with his own eyes. He saw who moved that car from one spot to another. So evidently he must saying that it was David that he saw in that car. That's what Fisher seemed like they're not going to tell us anything. Because we'll run away with, we'll run with it. But what Fisher, the reason why I think it's David is because Fisher saw who was driving that car. And they are confident that David was involved in her death. They are confident. And like Fisher said, whoever moved the car was the same person who got in that concert van, in the van with David. So could it be David? And we don't know. But you have to ask yourself, why aren't they telling us anything? Why did he do her like that? What happened to her? Not today, Jason. I'm talking about another case. Please respect my company in the chat, okay? I'm not doing that case. I can't do that case every day, okay? Let me stay focused on this case right now while I'm on it for my people. I hope that they arrest whoever did this to this baby, because she ain't but 13. She not but 13, 14. Well, she was 14 and turned 15. What y'all think? Tell me what you think about this case. Those are all the updates that I have tonight. And I keep y'all in updated on this case. I will keep you updated. All right, y'all. I have a good night. And thank you. What you think about D4VD of this case. I'm out.